As you're developing your Define.XML, I wanted to share with you 7 of my favorite new features or enhancements to the Define.XML version 2.0 as opposed to version 1. The first thing that you'll notice is the style sheet and its colors. I use this Define.doc tool, and I can generate the version 1.0 by going in here and selecting the older version and generate. So this is the old style colors, where the kind of teal and the yellow it clashes in that it's a little bit difficult to read. So if I go into the version 2 version and regenerate that, this is a much nicer color scheme with white as the primary background, and the use of grays and the light blue is much more pleasant to the eye. It's easier to read. Notice is the navigation of your Define.XML has changed a little bit. So if you go here, notice that the navigation bar here, kind of like the bookmark in PDF, has these nice little hierarchical menus that you can then scroll and jump specifically to the dataset domain that you're looking at, or to the value level metadata or controlled terms. And the other nice thing is whenever you go to a specific domain, there's always this navigate back to the top again. The other interesting thing is they enhanced some of the style sheet to incorporate error checking. I'll explain to you what that is. For example, if you were to go into your metadata itself and you change a value that is not valid. So let's say, for example, I'm going to change the purpose of my AE domain to something that is possibly misspelled. For example, I put S, tabulations, instead of the standard tabulation. That's a minor little mistake, but this is an example where even the slightest change could trigger an error check that the Define.XML within the style sheet catches it for you. So let me regenerate that, and you'll see here that it generates the XML, everything else being the same, but automatically the style sheet catches this and colors it even in red to tell you. So this is not really the software tool I'm using to generate the XML. This is actually the XSL, a style sheet that accompanies the Define.XML that tells you what potentially is wrong. But what you may want to do is you want to print it to PDF. Now, there's an option where in the original Define, you can create a PDF by specifying the file extension. In this case, this program uses ODS and proc report to generate the PDF file. So you can generate it the old-fashioned way, what was used to be done prior to XML. But what I suggest in the new version, the style sheet is nice enough that if you were to print this, instead of printing, I'll just do a preview for you to see, and I'll zoom in a little bit here. So the style sheet lays out everything quite nicely, meaning that the fonts and its table sizing renders itself quite well, and you can then print this directly to PDF, and it's it doesn't have all the links as the original PDF does, but from the old style sheet, printing was really a problem in that the layout didn't work very well. If you do want to have complete linking, and you would need to generate your PDF using ODS, but as a shortcut, you can print directly from the XML, compatibility with different browsers. Now, the example I showed here is a Internet Explorer viewer. So So this is Internet Explorer. I believe it's like version 11, the newer one. But in the old style sheet, if you have different browsers, for example, Chrome or different versions of Internet Explorer, it did not work very well. So in this example, I've checked several browsers. Even, for example, this is an example on the Mac. So this is running Safari, which is more similar to Chrome. And I ran this earlier, and it renders very similarly. I'll show you side by side. So up here is the Internet Explorer, and down here is an example of the Safari web browser within the Mac OS. So not only a different operating system, a different browser altogether, and the rendering is similar. You can tell it's slightly different. For example, this font compared to this font is slightly different, but overall, I think it renders very well. The actual XML code and its related schema files, number 6 and 7, are very well organized and documented. This helps in when you're generating the actual code yourself. So let me go back to the browser and I'll show you. So in a browser, you can actually view the source code, and when I generate this, I use the template, the examples that came from the CDISC.org website, and they added these nice comments here. So at the beginning of each section, if you can think of a SAS program or any program like a C program or Java program, inserting these comments really clarifies in English what the rest of the code is doing. That really helps in generating the actual XML file. In a similar manner, if I were to show you the actual physical files, the Define.XML is what we're looking at, but it's accompanied by the style sheet that has, the fonts. But the XSD, which is the kind of like the schema file that explains the meaning of everything, that's also very well organized. You don't have to understand the details of this, but it basically explains what each tag and element is used for and for what purpose, and it really helps in generating it when this is well organized. This underlying schema and documentation helps you in implementing version 2